I never thought of myself as a jealous man. Trust, I believed, was the foundation of any marriage, and for 8 years I was certain ours was unshakable. My wife, Jenna, was everything I admired. Sharp-minded, driven, and fiercely independent. Those were the traits that first drew me to her. So when she earned promotion to senior manager, I couldn't have been prouder. "It'll mean some late nights," she said one evening, her tone carrying the weight of a long day as she sat at the kitchen table. "I get it," I told her, pulling her into a hug. "You've worked hard for this. I'll keep dinner warm whenever you're late." And I truly meant it, or at least I thought I did. At first, nothing seemed unusual. More late nights at the office, the occasional dinner meeting. Over time, those dinners stretched into weekends spent catching up on projects. Whenever I asked about work, she would brush it off with a tired sigh. "It's just stress, Liam. New position, more responsibilities." That was always her answer. I might have believed her until that text. It came in late on a Friday night. Jenna had fallen asleep on the couch, her phone still in her hand. I wasn't snooping, but when the screen lit up, the words cut into me like a blade. "Working dinner Sunday. Don't forget who you belong to. See you soon." My stomach turned to lead. "Who you belong to." I read it again, hoping I had misunderstood, but the meaning was crystal clear. The pieces fell into place quickly. Martin, her boss. Wealthy, arrogant, with a reputation for getting whatever he wanted. I'd met him once at a company holiday party. His handshake lingered too long, his smirk too smug. His eyes had that predatory glint, the kind that strips someone bare even in front of their spouse. That night, I shook Jenna awake and shoved the phone toward her. "What's this?" She blinked groggily, but I caught the flash of panic in her eyes before she spoke. "Oh, it's nothing. Martin jokes like that sometimes." "Sounds like more than a joke," I said, my voice tight. "I told you, it's nothing. Just drop it." She was defensive, the way people get when they have something to hide. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But the doubt had already taken root. That Sunday, she left for her so-called working dinner with Martin, promising to be home by 10. I didn't buy it. I knew the restaurant, a pricey Italian place downtown, and a secluded booth Martin liked. Jenna had once called it his private office, laughing as she said it. Now, the memory only made me feel sick. I waited until I was sure they'd settled in, then grabbed the spare key to Jenna's car and put on my best suit. I wasn't angry. I wasn't nervous. I felt detached, eerily calm, like I was moving through a scene I'd already played in my head. The host greeted me with a polite smile. "Table for one, sir?" "No," I replied smoothly. "I'm meeting someone. Martin Reynolds' private table." He hesitated. "Sir, they requested privacy." "I'm sure they won't mind." I cut in, my tone sharp enough to make him back down. We passed tables of diners, sipping wine, until we reached the heavy curtains. Even before stepping inside, I heard them. Martin's deep laugh, Jenna's softer, hesitant voice. My stomach nodded. The host asked if he should announce me. "No need," I said coldly, pushing the curtain aside. There they were, Jenna across from Martin, her face draining of color when she saw me. Martin froze mid-bite, the smirk slipping from his face. "Liam," Jenna gasped, rising from her seat. "What are you doing here?" I didn't look at her. My eyes were locked on Martin. "Hope I'm not interrupting," I said evenly. "Well, this is a surprise," Martin replied, leaning back with forced calm. "Jenna didn't mention you'd be joining us." "That's funny," I said as I pulled out an empty chair and sat down. "She didn't mention she belonged to you, either." "Liam, stop," Jenna whispered, but I turned to her for the first time, my face unreadable. "No, not this time." Martin tried to recover his composure. "Look, you got the wrong idea. This is just business." "Business?" I leaned forward, lowering my voice to a razor's edge. "I don't see any contracts. No reports. No laptops. What I do see is a man who thinks he can take whatever he wants because he signs a paycheck." "You're out of line," Martin snapped. I let out a bitter laugh. "No, you are. You thought you could treat my wife like a prize, and I just stand by." Liam, please. Jenna's voice trembled, tears brimming in her eyes. For her, my tone softened, slightly. I trusted you, and you let him treat you like something he owns. Martin straightened, but his arrogance was fading. She's here of her own free will. Is that so? I smiled coldly. Then maybe your wife would like to know the kind of man she married. The color drained from his face. I reached into my jacket and pulled out a small voice recorder. Jenna gasped. Martin's eyes widened. I had a feeling something like this might happen. I said evenly, so I recorded everything, calls, messages. You're not exactly discreet, Martin. A jury would love this. Jenna stared at me in shock. I ignored her, keeping my eyes on him. Here's how this is going to work. You'll transfer Jenna to another department, effective immediately. You'll stay away from her. No calls, no texts, no contact. And if you ever do, I held up the recorder. This goes public. Your wife, your board, your reputation gone. Good. I stood slowly, because if you so much as glance at her again, you won't just lose your job. You'll lose everything. He didn't argue. He didn't look at me. Just sat there, humiliated. I turned to Jenna. We're leaving. She didn't resist. She grabbed her coat and followed me out in silence. The drive home was wordless. She stared out the window, her face pale, hands trembling. My mind was a storm I wasn't ready to release. When we got home, I finally spoke, my voice low and tired. I loved you, Jenna. I still do, but I don't know if I can come back from this. Her tears spilled over. I'm sorry, Liam. I was stupid. I never wanted to lose you. I studied her for a long moment, then shook my head. Actions have consequences. For both of us. I picked up the bag I'd packed before going to the restaurant. Where are you going? She asked, voice breaking. Somewhere I can think, I said, and walked out. Months later, Martin lost his position. Turns out I wasn't the only one with dirt on him. As for Jenna and me, we didn't survive it. The divorce was painful, but I found peace knowing I had stood my ground, reclaimed my self-worth. Not all revenge comes in grand, cinematic moments. Sometimes it's quiet and deliberate, but when you take back your power, it's always satisfying.